Failure is one of the most misunderstood experiences in life. Most people see failure as something negative, something embarrassing, something that proves they are not good enough. But the truth is that failure is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. If you truly want success, you must first learn the art of failing. The reason many people never reach their full potential is not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they are afraid to fail. They avoid challenges, they stay in their comfort zones, and they never take the risks necessary for growth. But champions understand something different. Failure is the classroom where greatness is developed. Every mistake, every setback, and every disappointment carries a lesson that pushes you closer to success. Think about it. When everything goes perfectly, you don't learn much. But when things go wrong, you are forced to analyze what happened, adjust your strategy, and come back stronger. That process of reflection and improvement is what builds champions. Inspired by the mindset often shared by Eric Thomas, success requires hunger, determination, and the willingness to keep going even when things don't work out the first time. Failure tests your commitment. It asks you a powerful question: how badly do you want it? When you fail, you have two choices. You can allow that moment to break your confidence and make you quit, or you can allow it to build your character and make you stronger. The art of failing is choosing growth instead of giving up. Every successful person you admire has experienced failure many times. Athletes lose games before they win championships. Entrepreneurs launch businesses that fail before they build successful companies. Artists create work that is rejected before they produce masterpieces. Failure is not proof that you cannot succeed. It is proof that you are trying. It means you are pushing beyond your comfort zone and challenging yourself to grow. The real problem is not failing. The real problem is staying down after you fall. Champions understand that falling is part of the journey, but staying down is a decision. When you learn how to get back up after every setback, you develop resilience. That resilience becomes your greatest strength. Instead of fearing failure, you begin to respect it because you know it is shaping you into someone stronger and wiser. Every failure becomes a stepping stone instead of a stopping point. This mindset transforms the way you approach challenges. Instead of asking yourself, "What if I fail?" you start asking, "What will I learn if I try?" That shift in thinking changes everything. Suddenly, failure becomes an opportunity rather than a threat. It becomes a tool for growth. The art of failing also teaches patience. Success rarely happens overnight. It requires consistent effort, persistence, and the willingness to keep improving even when progress seems slow. Each failure adds another layer of experience and understanding. Over time, those lessons accumulate and create the foundation for long-term success. The champions of the world are not the people who avoided failure. They are the people who mastered it. They refuse to let temporary setbacks define their future. Instead, they use those setbacks as motivation to work harder and dream bigger. When you truly understand the art of failing, you stop seeing failure as the end of the road. You begin to see it as a necessary step on the path to greatness. And once you embrace that truth, nothing can stop you from continuing the journey toward your goals. Failure is not what defines a person. What truly defines a person is how they respond after failure. Life has a way of testing every individual. No matter how talented, intelligent, or hardworking you are, there will be moments when things do not go according to plan. Dreams will feel distant, goals will seem impossible, and the effort you put in may appear to bring no reward. In those moments, the real battle begins not with the world, but within yourself. The art of failing is learning how to get back up every single time life knocks you down. Many people start strong when pursuing their goals, But the first major setback often destroys their motivation. They begin to doubt their abilities, question their purpose, and eventually give up. But the mindset inspired by Eric Thomas teaches something different: resilience. It teaches that success belongs to the people who refuse to stay down. When you fall, you get back up. When you struggle, you push harder. When you face rejection, you improve and try again. This relentless determination is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who only dream about it. Every time you stand up after failure, you prove something powerful to yourself. You prove that you are stronger than your circumstances. Life will challenge your patience, your confidence, and your belief in your own potential. There will be days when you feel like quitting, when the obstacles seem too large and the journey too exhausting. But the art of failing is understanding that those difficult moments are not signs that you should stop. They are signs that you are growing. Growth is uncomfortable because it forces you to confront your weaknesses and limitations. Failure exposes the areas where you need to improve, but it also gives you the opportunity to become better. Instead of viewing failure as a final verdict on your ability, you begin to see it as valuable feedback. Each setback becomes a lesson that teaches you how to move forward more effectively. When you adopt this mindset, failure loses its power to discourage you. Instead, it becomes a stepping stone that strengthens your resilience. The journey to success is rarely smooth or predictable. It is filled with challenges, mistakes, and moments of doubt, but those experiences are what shape your character. When you keep standing up after every fall, you develop mental toughness. You become someone who refuses to be controlled by fear or disappointment. The phrase "fall down 7 times, stand up 8" represents the essence of perseverance. It means that no matter how many times you fail, you always find the strength to rise again. This attitude builds confidence because every comeback reminds you that failure cannot defeat you unless you allow it to. The more you practice getting back up, the stronger and more determined you become. Eventually, what once seemed impossible begins to feel achievable because you have trained your mind to persist. Success does not belong to those who never fail. It belongs to those who never stop trying. The art of failing is about refusing to surrender to setbacks. It is about recognizing that every fall carries the potential for a comeback. When you embrace this mindset, you begin to approach challenges with courage rather than fear. You understand that failure is not the end of the story. It is simply a chapter in the larger journey toward your goals. And as long as you keep standing up, you keep moving forward. Failure is not just a lesson. It is often accompanied by pain. That pain may come in many forms: disappointment, embarrassment, frustration, or even self-doubt. Many people try to avoid this feeling at all costs. They stay in their comfort zones, avoid risks, and choose safe paths where the chances of failure are small. But the truth is that comfort rarely leads to growth. If you truly want to achieve something meaningful in life, you must accept that pain is part of the process. The art of failing is understanding that pain is not punishment, it is preparation. Every great success story includes moments of struggle and hardship. Behind every victory there are long nights, countless setbacks, and moments when quitting seemed easier than continuing. Pain is the price that must be paid for progress, because growth requires you to move beyond your limits. Inspired by the powerful mindset often shared by Eric Thomas, success demands hunger and sacrifice. It requires the kind of dedication where your goals matter so much that you are willing to endure discomfort to achieve them. When you experience failure, the pain you feel can either break your spirit or strengthen your resolve. The difference lies in how you interpret that pain. If you see it as evidence that you are not capable, it will discourage you and make you retreat. But if you see it as proof that you are pushing yourself to grow, it will motivate you to keep going. Pain becomes a signal that you are challenging your limits and building resilience. Just like muscles grow stronger after intense workouts, your character becomes stronger after facing difficult experiences. The struggle you endure today shapes the strength you will carry tomorrow. Many people want success, but they do not want the hardship that comes with it. They want results without effort, recognition without struggle, and victory without sacrifice. But real success does not work that way. It demands commitment and persistence, especially when the journey becomes difficult. Failure often reveals weaknesses in your preparation, your strategy, or your mindset. Instead of seeing these weaknesses as reasons to quit, you must treat them as opportunities for improvement. The pain of failure forces you to reflect, adapt, and grow. It challenges you to develop discipline, patience, and determination. Over time, those qualities become the foundation of long-term success. The art of failing teaches you that pain is temporary, but the lessons it provides can last a lifetime. Every challenge you overcome increases your confidence and prepares you for even greater obstacles ahead. Eventually, you begin to see pain differently. Instead of fearing it, you respect it because you know it is part of the transformation process. It means you are evolving into a stronger version of yourself. When you adopt this perspective, failure no longer feels like defeat. It becomes a necessary step on the path to achievement. The people who accomplish extraordinary things are not the ones who avoid pain. They are the ones who learn how to use it as fuel. They allow the frustration of failure to ignite their determination. They take every setback personally, not in a way that destroys them, but in a way that pushes them to work harder and aim higher. Pain reminds them why they started and why they cannot afford to quit. In this way, the art of failing becomes the art of transforming struggle into strength. When you accept that pain is the price of progress, you unlock a powerful mindset. You realize that every difficult moment is shaping you for something greater. And with that understanding, you gain the courage to continue chasing your dreams, no matter how challenging the journey becomes. One of the most powerful principles in the art of failing is learning how to fail forward. Many people believe that failure pushes them backwards, but in reality, failure can move you forward if you choose to learn from it. The difference between people who eventually succeed and those who give up often comes down to this single mindset. Some individuals see failure as the end of their journey, while others see it as a step in the process. Failing forward means that every mistake, every setback, and every disappointment becomes a lesson that helps you move closer to your goal. Instead of allowing failure to destroy your confidence, you use it to sharpen your strategy and strengthen your determination. Inspired by the motivational energy often associated with Eric Thomas, success requires a level of commitment where quitting is simply not an option. When you adopt the fail-forward mentality, you stop focusing on how many times you have failed and start focusing on how much you have learned. Each failed attempt provides information about what works and what does not. That information is incredibly valuable because it allows you to adjust your approach and improve your chances the next time you try. The people who achieve extraordinary results are rarely those who succeed on their first attempt. Instead, they are the ones who keep trying again and again while continuously improving. Failure becomes a teacher that guides them toward better decisions and smarter strategies. The journey toward success is rarely straight or predictable. It is filled with unexpected challenges, mistakes, and obstacles that force you to adapt. Failing forward means refusing to allow those obstacles to stop your progress. Instead, You treat them as stepping stones that bring you closer to the outcome you desire. This mindset transforms the way you see challenges. Instead of fearing failure, you begin to embrace it because you understand that it is part of the process. Each setback becomes an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Over time, the lessons you gain from failure accumulate and create a powerful foundation of experience. That experience becomes one of your greatest advantages because it gives you insight that cannot be learned through theory alone. Many people quit just before they are about to succeed because they interpret repeated failure as a sign that they are not meant to achieve their goals. But those who fail forward understand that persistence is the key to breakthroughs. They recognize that success often appears only after many unsuccessful attempts. Every time they try again, they are building momentum and increasing the likelihood of eventually reaching their objective. The fail-forward mindset also encourages courage. When you know that failure is not the end, you become more willing to take risks and pursue ambitious goals. You stop limiting yourself because of fear and begin exploring your full potential. This courage opens doors to opportunities that would otherwise remain closed. Over time, the accumulation of lessons, experiences, and persistence begins to create results. The failures that once seemed discouraging start to reveal their purpose because they were preparing you for success all along. The art of failing is not about celebrating mistakes, but about transforming them into progress. When you fail forward, you turn every setback into a stepping stone and every challenge into a learning experience. Eventually, the persistence, resilience, and knowledge you gain from these experiences lead you to success. The path may be difficult and filled with obstacles, but as long as you continue to move forward and refuse to quit, victory becomes inevitable.